We have a new trailer showcasing the city of Magnolia from the game Fairy Tail. Let's go ahead and break this down. Hello everyone, this is Griffin Station back here with another Fairy Tail video, and before I get into this video, I would like to ask you to subscribe and like this video. Helps other people find it and it'd be greatly appreciated. With that said, let's break down this new trailer we got for Fairy Tail. This trailer came out a couple days ago and it showcases the city of Magnolia. But not only does it showcase the city, but we do get some intriguing new details about the game from this. So first off, the first shot shows us mostly playable characters Loxus, Sharia, Mirajane, and Sting, but it also shows us some support characters. It shows us characters such as Makarov. We also do have characters such as Kana, Ichiya, Lecter, and Mavis inside the guild. And the guild is really massive. Actually so massive it cannot be the same guild that we were showcased in the first trailer of this game, showcasing that there is progression from a small guild after the time skip, and we're going to be seeing it grow and progress. We're probably going to have a hand in building this guild to be as big as it is in this trailer. Now, as far as these other characters go in this next section, we have Lisana, Rogue, and Frosh. Now, Rogue and Frosh, Rogue makes sense, he's a playable character, Frosh is his companion, but Lisana is an interesting position. She looks as though she's going to be a merchant, which will either be purchasing or selling some sort of Lacrima crystal. I'm not exactly sure what it's going to entail, but it's probably going to be either buffs or healing items that you can equip to your character or your teammates or your people in your party that will be able to help you and assist you in whatever battles that you're in. We then, in the next shot, have Kagura, Happy, and Ichiya inside the guild, and it just showcases that these characters will be inside the guild even though they are not Fairy Tail members, except for Happy, of course, but Happy's not playable. I do find it a little bit interesting that Happy won't be traveling with you as Natsu, because the character that we're seeing on screen in this screenshot is Natsu, yet Happy's not accompanying him. Next we go into the back where the pool is, and we see two characters, Gray and Juvia, both playable characters. And I do find this interesting because later in this trailer, in this video that was uploaded by PlayStation, we do actually see Juvia and Gray together again. So I'm really curious to see how the relationship is going to be portrayed in this game, because them being together this much, unless if it's just Juvia constantly going after Gray, makes it really interesting, especially if we are only covering basically the first two arcs after the time skip. We now transition from Natsu being the playable character to Lucy, and first off with Lucy, we are outside the guild, and in front of the guild we see Sharia standing there. Now, I have two theories about why Sharia is standing here. One, we already did see her inside, and I wouldn't be totally surprised if characters just have multiple places where they, stand, hang out, if depending on where you are in the world. But I do have another possible theory that I think is less likely, but is still a possibility. Sharia could be a part of your party, but has to hang out and won't exactly follow you if you aren't, in combat or in a combat-ready area. Because, you are just traveling around Magnolia, so they might just have your party members just hang out around the city, and we do see that later on in this trailer as well, so I won't go over that too much. We do then get to see some more traveling around the actual city as Lucy, and while we do see Natsu and Happy, most of the other townsfolk are pretty just generic citizens. We do actually get to see some repeated people, especially this one woman wearing this green dress. She's basically standing next to her clone. So hopefully these repeated citizens aren't too common, but I do find it pretty funny that in one of the first shots of these citizens for this trailer, we do get repeated citizens. We then get to go see the inside of Lucy's room. This is a pretty iconic location for the Fairy Tail series, if I say so myself. And we do actually get to see Plu on her desk, which is pretty nice attention to detail. And then obviously in the following shot, after Lucy goes to her desk, we get to see Natsu making an uproar in the room, and I assume this is probably an in-game story or a mission event of some sort, because it doesn't exactly look cinematic, I would say, but it does look like it's not something that would just normally happen in her room, and I don't exactly know how that shot of her looking at Plu or looking at her desk would exactly initiate if it wasn't an in-game cutscene of some sort. Transitioning from Lucy's gameplay to Wendy's gameplay, we are immediately just a flash second screenshot of Gray and Juvia now peering over the river of Magnolia. I find this really interesting, as I said before, that we're seeing these two characters paired up again. I mean, it makes sense with their dynamic, but I am really curious to see how their dynamic will be played out in this game, especially if one of them is going to be on your team while the other is not. I don't know if they're going to like split up the characters on the hub world, but we will have to wait and see. We do also get to see a lot more citizens around Magnolia. I am really curious to see how much interaction we're going to actually be able to do with these characters, whether it be the named characters like the guild members from Fairy Tail, or if it's just going to be with those characters and not with the citizens of Magnolia. I'm sure at least some of the citizens from Magnolia you'll be able to interact with, but this trailer does not give you any indication either way, other than some clips of characters going up to other characters as if they were about to talk to them. The next clip of Wendy has Wendy passing Erza. This is the first time we're actually seeing Erza in this game, in this trailer at least, which I find very intriguing. And she is really close to Magnolia's church, the one that Natsu and Laxus fought in. I'm really curious to see if we're going to get any flashback content, because I know sometimes games will do that if it's not covered in the scope of the gameplay. They might have some missions of flashbacks taking it back to earlier points in the series history. And if they do, I could be sure that we would be seeing Natsu and Laxus fight in that church. We then also do see Sting and Lecter standing by this really giant Magnolia fountain, and as I said earlier, this is probably just a location you can go up to them, talk to them about something. They'll probably give you a few lines of dialogue, may not be very intuitive or very impactful on your gameplay, but you'll be able to interact with them regardless. And finally, this is probably the most important part of this trailer, and you might not realize why when you first see this section, but we do get these green lights spiking out of the ground, and I assume this either means this is the edge of this section of the city, and if you go through those lights, you'll be transferring to another section of the city or outside the city where you'll be able to, expand your area, but you'll have to go through a loading screen. And so I assume it's either that, or it's just strictly a barrier preventing you from going beyond that point. It does look more like a point of transition rather than a full-on wall, but we will have to wait and see how it plays out when we get Fairy Tail in the next 2 months. Now, before I end this video, I do want to leave a message that was stated by Gus when talking about making the city of Magnolia. Behind the scenes, we worked for 6 months to create every brick, bridge, and building you'll be able to explore in the game. We looked at any and all reference material we could find on the town in order to lay it out as accurately as possible. We read the comics, we extracted scenes from the anime, consulted the anime setting materials, and we were even able to find reference data from older illustrations to help us along the way. From there, we laid everything out in 3D, and then went back to Mishima-san, and he was able to give us further advice to help sculpt the final setting. In the end, we created a final design which works for an RPG, while at the same time integrating functionality in the appropriate visuals, including all of the symbolic buildings and landmarks you're looking for, in a dynamic way that truly pops off screen. After months and months of hard work, we were eventually able to flip the image we had in our minds into a breathtaking and immersive town you'll be able to experience in our unique RPG. Now with that all said, I am truly loving the amount of dedication that they are to recreating the world of Fairy Tail, and especially Magnolia, and bringing it to life in this game. Let me know what you think about the city of Magnolia, what you're most excited for in the game Fairy Tail that's coming out in just 2 months in the comments section down below. I'd really love to hear what you all have to say about this game. And with that said, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye.